Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربي أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وادخلني برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Welcome, friends. Inshallah, we will continue with the words, the 20th word, page 274 in the book. So this is the discussion about the miracles of the prophets that are mentioned in the Quran. The author is explaining what those miracles signify, and we went over that quite extensively in the last few sessions. And then last time we discussed the two questions that may come up, and then he replies with the answers. Or the question was, why does the Quran not explicitly state all these marvels of civilization, and why does it suffice with the secret signs, concealed allusions, slight indications, and slender reminders? And we discussed over this last time how each and every marvel that we see in the universe, any event that happens that catches our attention, is also part of what the order in the universe, whoever made the order in the universe, his plan, his will. But of course, the purpose of the Quran is not to just talk about the marvels, but what they mean, what they signify, point to, what they point to, just like everything in the universe are not just pointing to themselves, but they point to the qualities of whoever gave them the way, made them the way they are, the way they are acting. And of course, through the examples of the prophets, we see that within the order of the universe, someone was employed and given the ability to do some particular physical act. But so that encourages me to see how I can do the same within the order of the universe. I should look for it, study the universe, the order, and see how the order is working and benefit from it in that way as well. So we will continue with the second part of this, the answer to the second question. As in the first one, the author explained that briefly. The purpose of the Quran or the scripture guidance is for man to make human progress, not material progress necessarily, that's included in it, but for human development and progress. Basically, so that he goes to the sphere of worship from the arena of, from this material world to the meaningful side of creation. So nothing in the universe can claim to have its rights because they're all made by the one who gives existence to each and every particle, each and everything. So we will continue, inshallah, with the answer to the second question. So if you say, none of my doubts remains now after these investigations. So studying the universe, seeing how the order is functioning, experiencing it. And I have affirmed that together with other wonders in the Quran are allusions. So, and I affirm that together with other wonders in the Quran are allusions to and indications of the wonders of modern civilization, indeed to further advancements. So there are allusions to and indications of the wonders of modern civilization. But of course, it's not the main purpose, but it alludes, the Quran's message alludes to all the achievements, the advancements that we experience in civilization. So everything necessary for man's happiness, everything necessary for man's happiness in this world and the next is found within it in relation to its worth. That's a very beautiful definition. Everything necessary of man's happiness in this world and the next is found within the Quran in relation to its worth. And now the question again comes, but why does the Quran not mention them explicitly so that obstinate unbelievers would be compelled to confirm it and our hearts also would be easy? So everything necessary.
Can you make it clear about this pronoun it's refer to what?
It refers to the Quran, yes. So everything necessary for man's happiness in this world and the next is found within the Quran in relation to its worth. Basically, it's not for the thing itself, basically, but to point out something beyond, not in itself. Of course, if it talks about the, for example, the airplane or the ship, it keeps changing what the technology improves continuously. So what is the point about mentioning all those things?
Yeah, and can you say within the miracles of the prophets mentioned in the Quran, it refers to within the miracles of the prophets mentioned in the Quran or narrated in the Quran. How would you say? Do you think I am understanding it wrong, right or wrongly?
What do you mean within the miracles of the prophets? What
Yeah,
about it?
because specific the subject is about miracles. So I can understand in its relation to its worth.
Oh,
Its
okay.
worth. It's what is its
So it's
refers.
referring to the miracles of the prophet, I would
The
think.
content of the miracle of the prophet.
Right.
Flying, melting the iron, making the ship and curing blind, for example. Right. How much it is worth it? As much as this subject deserves to be mentioned in the Quran, Quran gives reference to it through narrating the miracles of the Prophet. Right?
Correct, yes.
And its worth is the content of the miracles. But the text made the comparison between, for example, which one deserves to be given space in the Quran? The airplane or a fly? Let alone millions of billions of different flies. The smallest flying animal, I mean, an ant, for example, or not flying, it means mosquito, for example. So if the Quran mentions about uh, flying creatures like a mosquito or a bird or any kind of bird, one page, how much airplane deserves to be mentioned, alluded in the Quran, according to significance of the creation of airplane and a fly. So maybe a word only just alluding to it, to airplane, one word or one small short sentence, because it is that it worth only this much. That's why Quran did not really spare a lot of explanations how Solomon flew, gives the clues for human beings how they can make their own airplanes, because it is not worth it within the content of the Quran to be mentioned. More than this, illusion is enough. Thank you.
Thank you for pointing that out. So why does the Quran not mention them explicitly? So all those advancements and wonders, so that obstinate unbelievers would be compelled to confirm it. So basically the message that the Quran is bringing, confirm the Quran, and our hearts also would be easy. Okay. I mean, as we just mentioned, allusions are good enough, but I don't know why the question goes to this point.
Human beings bother and human beings ask the question. Why doesn't, if you say that Solomon's miracle is giving a hint, alluding that, oh, human beings, you can make airplane as well. So why doesn't he say it clearly rather than giving an illusion to it? Look, God says, look, I am creating many animals flying, so you human beings find out the rule in the creation, within the order of the creation. How can you also fly? You can make it, but a fly, a bird, a mosquito cannot make it by himself, because I created them as an example for you. Isn't that enough? And also I alluded in my speech as well that you can do it. So that is good enough. It is not worth more than this to be mentioned. Thank you. Human beings don't understand always that clearly. They just question, why does the Quran explicitly mention it then? Or some, deliberately politically minded people say, look, Muslims say Quran is mentioning about the things beforehand that the scientists discover. Come on, why didn't you discover that? Oh, it is a human race's duty, not only the ones who follow the Quran as their really purpose of satisfying their existence, the meaning of their existence. Quran mainly concentrate on this, mainly. Well, why are you here? Who brought you here? How did you come into existence? These are these are the main concerns. Whether I made an airplane or not, I discovered the airplane or not, is nothing because it helps only my body. Makes my bodily life, worldly life easy, welcome, but not significant. Before the really discovery of the airplane, do you think people were nothing? They were just in trouble in their life? No, they were much happier than we are. Now, all the hassles of life make human beings sick of technology. Oh, which one? I cannot really reach them. How they keep changing. And I work to buy a new technology, because I have to adapt my life according to new technology. I am a slave of technology now. I lost my freedom almost by trying to make my life more comfortable. Not necessarily that technology really brought comfort into life. Now, when you look at practically, it seems to be making life easy. Okay, which people are happier in their lives and enjoy their life? Those people who don't have any concern about technology, living in a natural way, doing farming in their area. Who is more comfortable? Who is suffering from depressions? Those people who are dealing with farming, or those people who are heavily involved in technology? Which one is suffering in this world as a human being, let alone belief? Just world life. Whose world life is more comfortable? Compare it. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't discover, but we should discover how the order of the universe works in order to fulfill the answer human nature needs. But side production is, okay, here is airplane, I can use it. But unfortunately, yes, we are benefiting from airplanes, but how much we are suffering from aircraft weapons? How many people dying because of their attack? How much of my budget goes to this technology, to buy weapon technology? 40% of the world income budget goes to army. 40%. It means I work 100 hours, 40 hours of my labor goes to army to kill people under the name of defense. Everybody defends, no one attacks, but people are killed. Does it make sense? Really obvious cheating, because ego, I am superior. I want my superior position in order to dominate this particular nation. So I don't want anybody else in my territory. Why? Is it really your territory? It's created by someone else. You are using it, let everybody use it equally. No, I must put my domain here. And no one can say anything. I have to oppress others so that I will satisfy my egoistic caprices. That's it. I am the Superman. Everybody, every state wants to be the super state. What is that? What shows? What does this show? everybody wants to satisfy their ego, which is just limited with the life of this world. Most of the activities we are doing are for this purpose. Thank you.
Thank you for elaborating, Brother Ali. So the answer, religion is an examination, a test proposed by God or by the one who made me, by my creator, my Lord, so that in the arena of competition, elevated spirits and base spirits may be distinguished from one another. So just like we keep saying, this universe must be taken as a school, a place of education. So as a human being, how I can make sense to my human questions, how satisfied do I get, and connect myself with the owner, with the Lord of the universe, to have with my feelings, our intellect, feelings, senses are satisfied and pleased with what is going on in my life versus cheating myself, as Brother Ali was explaining, and just satisfying the egoistic whims and desires, but then suffering spiritually or within their feelings at the end of the day. So just as materials are plunged in the fire, so that diamonds and coal, gold and earth separate out from one another, so too religion is a trial. Religion is a trial concerning the obligations placed on man by God and it driving to competition. Which is what this abode of examination consists of. It's interesting how he uses the word religion. Religion, the way we live, how we view the world, which is what forms our religion. How we react to the events that happen, exactly just like in school when the tests are given or situations happen. It's all part of the education, which is how we act, how we react, how we understand it is what the religion would be. So a trial concerning the obligations placed on man by God. So concerning the obligations placed on man, yes, all those tools are given for a reason. What the intellect, the feelings, the senses. I mean, they're not my creation, but all are all placed on man by God. So they must be used for these examination, these trials, tests, this education. So in this way, the elevated jewels in the mine of man's abilities become separated out from the dross, from the waste. So physical example, analogy he gave about the fire cleaning up the diamond, coal, and earth. Same thing, human beings go through that cleanliness, so to speak, that the human experiences, what he goes through, is also something to where his qualities that are given to him, what he makes out of them, is how the man's abilities get uncovered or they are used and they get cleaned up from the dirt or the filth or the waste. Since the Quran was revealed in this abode of examination for man to be perfected through trial in the arena of competition. So since the Quran was revealed in this abode of examination for man to be perfected, so man to be perfected through the trials in the arena of competition. That's the main purpose, the major purpose. It will surely only allude to the hidden events of the future pertaining to this world, which everyone will see, and will only open the door to the reason to a degree that proves its argument. It will surely only allude to the hidden events of the future pertaining to this world. So always allude to the hidden events of the future, because the world keeps changing. All right, Brother Ali, go ahead.
This is very interesting to understand what religion is. A problem, really. Forget about religion in English. I don't know what they mean by religion. Really, no one can define it in English what religion is really. But the Quranic language names it deen, comes from debt. Yawm din, when the debts are asked for back. How much? I gave you something, how much of them you return back to me? So what is given to me? My life, my existence, my body, my feelings, and the universe that I'm communicating and benefiting from, they are all given to me in the form of debt. What am I expected to do? To return it back to its real owner. That is religion. In Arabic, ad-din. So when the Quran says, إن الدين عند الله الإسلام, the deen is only, as far as the owner of this universe is concerned, Islam. It means submission to its creator. How are we going to do it? Of course, we cannot give the universe back its creator. It is ridiculous. So, submit yourself, accept it, confirm that these are given to me. Never ever declare your ownership over it, over your body, over your feeling, over the universe, anything you benefit from the universe. Never declare that it is yours. But it is given to you in the form of a trust. So you are expected to return it. How can you return it? Within the conditions of this universe, it is only possible to acknowledge and submit the universe, declare that everything exists in the universe. I am not the owner, but the creator of the universe is the owner. That is so clear. That's what the Quran means by religion. Of course, it's not Islam as it is used in Latin alphabet with capital I. Inna ad-dina 'inda Allahi al-Islam. Giving back. It means really submitting that this is the truth. How can we do that? I cannot say that life as I am born in this world and growing in this world, how can I do that? First of all, I have to investigate my own creation and myself, concentrate on try to understand my feelings and also why I am put within the context of this universe in a mutual relationship. I need this, the universe gives the answer. And my feelings, my capacity, human capacity, enables me to understand what this creation is all about. If only, this is a very important if only I investigate how the universe is coming into existence, so that I will understand how the universe is functioning through the way it is functioned. What does it tell me? It continues to change. That is the most significant part of the universe, rather than its existence, because this is all, it already exists. But we have to pay attention. We don't have to think that does the universe exist or not. No, it is so simple. Here we are. That's our reality. It continues to change. What is going on? Who is changing it? Who is giving this form and then another form and then another form continuously? What is it? It is writing as if somebody is continuously writing the qualities of the creator in their way of being changed. So I have to investigate it. Without investigating, taking the universe for granted, it exists there. Here I am, just try to enjoy my bodily life. That's it. How about my feelings? Deny it, ignore it. Now, we can take two attitudes. Either we have to investigate, or we may not. Or find an excuse and interpret it in a twisted way, saying, oh, it is happening by itself, naturally developed, etc. The different just vocabulary, use it, make it up, and not submit the universe to its real owner. Everybody takes a stand, but no one can really believe without investigating the universe, how it came into existence. Although the levels of investigating may vary. So uneducated people who don't know how to really reason, didn't train themselves. They reason only for their worldly benefits. They don't, no one in the world who is not really reasoning. Some of them concentrate their reasoning in order to benefit something for their worldly life. Some of them use their reasoning in order to understand what the reality of this existence is. This is what it is called tester. It means not explicitly mentioned. Why? Investigate. Without investigating, you can neither believe in God nor can you deny God. You have to find out reason. You are a human being. That is why this kind of illusions, through mentioning the miracles of the prophets, Quran infers us that you have to think, why do I mention about a man? Here the example Solomon, whatever you call it. Suleiman, why do I mention that I gave him miracle? Even I don't, even I do. You don't know who Abraham is or Solomon is. You wouldn't find out how he flew in the air, but you don't know. And I have to ask the creator or the speaker in the Quran, why do you mention me this? Suleiman flew. None of my business. Why? I don't know him. I've never seen him flying. What's the point? Quran says, look, whatever I say, there is a wisdom for you. No? From the Quran al-Hakim. Everything has a wisdom. What is the wisdom I have to ask? If you say is true, what you say is true, you said this narration of Sulaiman's flying has a wisdom. Oh, what is that? Now, why does the creator mentions something happened in the past which I have no clue of it at all? I mean, when you say Suleiman flew, none of my business. Why? Whether he flew or not, I don't know anything. I have no experience of it. Why do you keep mentioning this? To me, it is ridiculous. But you say, no, there is a wisdom. It says there is wisdom in it. So take notes of it. So it encourages me. Why do you think the Quran, the creator, mentions that once upon a time there was a man, he flew, I'm letting you know this. It means there is something for me here that I have to learn. So this encourages me to understand the purpose of this narration and start investigating. Is it really possible that a man can fly? Because it seems to be alluding that you can also fly. Because a man like you flew in this world. Oh man, let me find out. While I am investigating the universe, what am I doing? I am getting into the details of the creation. The more I get into the details of the creation, the more I realize the qualities of the creator manifested in this creation. The more I realize the qualities of the creator manifested in the universe, the more I am convinced that the creator of the universe is really the absolute one. Look at this. So the purpose is not to make an airplane. To me, the purpose is, what I understand, to investigate the universe for one purpose, to make an airplane or to make human beings be able to fly, or because it is possible, the Quran says, let me see if it is true, investigate it. Now, but the ultimate purpose is not to make the airplane. The ultimate purpose is to get to know the creator's qualities better, so that you will be more and more convinced about submitting the universe to its owner. You cannot say that this universe cannot exist by itself or accidentally. So perfect, in details, nothing is missing. Wow, this is what the aim of the Quran is. Airplane is nothing. Whether I have the airplane or not, so what? Maybe harmful, because it is used for military purposes and harmful purposes to satisfy people's caprices. Yeah, inshallah, that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, it does. So by investigating, it opens up the door to seeing the qualities and then relating those qualities to their actual owner is returning them. Whatever as you said about the deen, the debt. So all these things are given to me and I have to investigate, which is just the opening or like a door to uncover the various mysteries, qualities that I observe. That is how my religion becomes. Nothing to do with when you fill out a form, what is your religion, or in some passports. All right, so where was I? Yeah, Farah, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. So that made sense, what Brother Ali was sharing. I have a question that I'm reflecting as I'm asking, so I apologize as usual for doing that. But so going back to the point of religion as the returning of quote unquote, the debt of existence and acknowledging the giver of all of existence and using that, I guess, realization to investigate the universe. And through the investigation, we talk about the different qualities that one comes across. And so the more we investigate, the more qualities and attributes we uncover. And all of them, lead us to how you were mentioning to a realization of the absoluteness of the creator. So I get that as a process. On the other hand, if I think about it as a method, very practically speaking, what is the, I guess, the difference or so the alternative methodologically I'm thinking is, if we understand that the biggest and the all-encompassing, let's say, debt we have been given is existence itself, pointing to the nature of the creator as the absolute one. So just using existence in and of itself as the only point of reflection and the only sort of point of investigation, I think to myself, then you are kind of directly getting to the conclusion that you would do coming through the various qualities and attributes of the creator. And as a practical method, I think to myself, okay, I can investigate the sort of the different qualities in different ways, but I could also just, in essence, always just investigate the very existence of something, including myself and my ability to be aware of itself, of myself. And that could be some sort of like formula that works every time. And similarly to the point of the Quran, like if the essential point of the Quran, whether it's giving the example of a fly or if it's giving an example of a man flying, or all of these different examples are essentially sort of reminding us of the existence of an absolute being. If essentially that is the common denominator, then as a practical method, is it sufficient to say and sustainable, let's say, for someone to just reflect on the, I don't even know if you call this a quality because it's above the quality, the creator being absolute. And that's the only sort of mode of relationship you have with, if can that be a focus in and of itself is practically what I'm wondering.
So what are you wondering on? The focus on what? The creator being absolute?
Yeah, that's it.
But absolute entails a lot of things. Like all the qualities are absolute. as that's a conclusion that we make. I mean,
I mean,
even
fundamentally, the fact that
let me finish. Even the abilities that that we use to investigate, they are also given, so they are a form of debt as well. How we are able to decipher the meaning, reason, intellect, see, hear, observe, all of them are just given to us. So that is why, I mean, they have to be used in a way, but how can we just put a focus on the absoluteness of the creator without going through the process? Did I get you right, Farah?
I'll try and think about this in another sense. The fact that something is there, whether it's blue or green or sweet or sour, doesn't matter at this point. The fact that something is there can only be brought there by something that needs to have a condition of being absolute, as in to bring it into being in the first place. So at this moment, I think, to me, it doesn't matter what sort of, reflecting on the qualities of something, but rather just reflecting on the fact that, the thing exists. And that's a focus enough. That's what I'm saying.
Any comments by anyone on this statement? I mean, it's an ongoing journey, it's an ongoing process. I don't think it's ever enough. That's what I would say. But Suhail, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. I don't know if I understood Farah's question, other than maybe, I guess what she was asking is, is there anything more important than the focus on the quality itself? And I guess to what Ali was saying earlier, that's what it seems like, because at least to me, anybody can make, using the airplane example, anybody can make an airplane, but that doesn't necessarily mean one has to submit to make an airplane. It's available. The means or the mechanisms to do so is available to anyone, no matter what they believe in, for that matter. And I guess maybe the most important aspect is that that if I am searching for something in creation, or trying to explain something or understand something or discover something, what's my mindset or my frame of reference? Like, am I looking for it to make sense or understand or get to know the creator better, or am I doing it for some sort of alternative motivation? And if it's some sort of other motivation, then whether I find it or not is irrelevant then, because then I miss the point. So, like, using the example of like making an airplane or discovering something so I can make a weapon misses the point. So maybe it was better I didn't discover it at all. I just wasted my time and harmed people in the process. So, I guess the one thing somebody could say is, oh, that seems like, it's that you don't engage with the world at all. If the point is only to get to know the maker's quality, there's no engagement. But that is the engagement, really. Whether I discover something or not is secondary. That's in some sense beyond my control. That's within the domain of the creator's will, and sort of his wisdom, whether I discover something but submission is available to anyone and everyone. And, I can choose my sort of frame of mind of how I interact with the world. So, that's what I would say. Otherwise, I like, the last point I'll make is that otherwise, what happened, I guess, during Nursi's time and afterwards, like post-colonial era, post-war era, is that people who said were Muslim or be, try to study the Quran, I'm a part of it too, and essentially become sort of no different than like, secular materialists. So, discovering something for the sake of discovering something, or to profit off of it, or to exert power with it. So I don't see how that's any different than somebody who's an atheist who tries to do those things. And it's, because, I missed the point about what those things exist for. So, but that's those are my comments. I mean, and the thing is, like, I forget, and I believe I can't remember, but there's a verse in the Quran that says, like, I think, what is it? The deniers will make. I don't know, maybe Ali Member knows, but will make or bring about certainty, or make things more certain, or reveal something more about God's qualities. Because if it were that important for somebody who submits to believe to discover that, then it should only be within their domain, but it's not. So I think that just the very fact that anybody can access it, believer or denier, shows that how important it is, in that it's not the objective, but only somebody who believes has access to submission, or has access to a relationship with the Creator, which is infinitely of greater importance.
Thank you, Sohail. That clears it up for me as well. Any other comment by anyone? All right, so we will continue. We have a few minutes left. So if it mentioned the future events explicitly, the mystery of man's accountability would be negated. So man's accountability is the part of the religion, what he has to pay back. Simply, it would be as self-evident as writing there is no God, but God clearly in stars on the face of the sky. So if everything was clearly demonstrated that this is the work of God, then everyone would have to affirm it whether they wanted to or not. Then what's the point of having all those qualities, not learning anything, no education is needed? That's a useless school. So there would be no competition, and the examination too would go for nothing. A spirit like coal would remain on the same level of a spirit like diamonds. So there's a footnote here. Let's see what that is. Abu Jahl the accursed and Abu Bakr the truthful. So a spirit like coal and a spirit like diamond would appear to be equal, and the mystery of the examination set by God would be lost. So in short,
what is the significance of it then? Abu Jahl and Abu Bakr should be distinguished here.
I mean, man's accountability, everything.
God knows the creator of Abu Jahl, creator of Abu Bakr, I mean, these are the symbols of good and bad, actually. So the creator should know. Why do they have to do it in this way? Practice it. We should bear in mind, we shouldn't forget, in the hereafter, we will be facing our reality as we experienced here. So God says, look, I'm not going to interfere in your reality. You will be facing with your reality there in the hereafter. That is why I have to experience here which kind of obstinacy I demonstrated before the prophetic message, and the other one, which kind of submission I demonstrated and really physically live it in this world by really confirming the reality of the message, not being arrogant. So everybody will face, yeah, that is what I was. That is what I was. Everything is recorded. Here it you are. Here is your record. The Quran has many description of it. Here is your book. It means book of record. Record. Your life is here. We will be facing with the same life in the hereafter. But in terms of eternity, so continue living in the same feelings as we had here, whether we covered up or not, and the reward will be multiplied. That is from God's mercy. He said, okay, you had the good intention. You could do it as much as this one. So I will reward you. But Quran emphatically mentions, here you are, man, you did deny it, so I'm not going to give anything more, anything less. What you are, you will experience it in the next life, and you will not escape from your reality. What? You need permanent satisfaction. There is no satisfaction because you said the universe or the things are created naturally. Okay, go and wait for naturally the things that you need will be prepared by the natural development. Wait there, come on, go. So I'm hungry, I want to eat something. Oh, naturally develop. Wait there, wait, naturally develop. Can you imagine the suffering? Oh, huh. So that is hell is unbearable. You don't need a fire because in you, fire is already burning you. So that is the best way of really God's demonstrating his justice. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah, thank you. Just like we go through years of education to get the degree, whatever we achieved, according to how we practiced in our education, the same thing in our life. We will get the degree, the accountability accordingly as well, how much we have exercised, whatever we have been given, how much we've worked on ourselves, how much we've cleansed ourselves like a diamond or remained a coal, be lazy, not wondering what the meaning behind this universe is, seeing things as being themselves natural, as Brother Ali is alluding to. All right, so in short, the all-wise Quran is wise. This is a conclusion. The Quran affords everything a position in relation to its value. So we spoke about that, what it's worth. So that's why allusions are given to what they're worth, because the main purposes are emphasized for the human spirit to develop, to perfect itself. Thus, 1,300 years ago, the Quran saw concealed in the darkness of the future man's hidden fruits and progress, and showed them in a form better than we see and shall see. So referring to the miracles that were exercised, so in a form better than we see and shall see. That means the Quran is the word of one who sees at the same instant all time and all within it. So thus one flash of the Quran's miraculousness which shines on the face of the miracles of the prophets. How this section was bringing in how the explanation of how we can understand the miracles of the prophets in our living right now. Although it gave examples at their time and when the prophets exercised the miracles by the will of God. Of course, they were created by God, not the prophets themselves, but it gives us the idea, the pathway to make further progress. All right, so now there's a prayer, inshallah. Oh, God, grant us understanding of the mysteries of the Quran. Grant us understanding of the mysteries of the Quran and success in the service of the Quran at every instant, at all times. So with understanding will come success in the service, inshallah. Glory be unto you. We have no knowledge save that which you have taught us. Indeed, you are all knowing, all wise. Quran section 2, verse 32. Just as the angels had responded, we have no knowledge save that which you have taught us. Indeed, you are all knowing, all wise. We conscious beings also acknowledge that. O God, grant blessings and peace and benedictions and honor to our Master and Lord Muhammad, your servant and prophet and messenger, the unlettered prophet, and to his family and companions and wives and descendants, and to all the prophets and messengers, and to the angels close to your throne, and the saints and the righteous. Grant to the most excellent of blessings and the purest peace, and the most abundant benedictions to the number of the surahs of the Quran and its verses, and words and letters, and its meanings and indications and signs and allusions, and grant us forgiveness. To the number of the surahs of the Quran and its verses and words and letters, and its meanings and indications and signs and allusions. So this section focused a lot on the allusions. Of course, the meanings, indications, signs as we see in the universe are all around us. So maybe heed them and grant us forgiveness, because sometimes we lack, we miss them, a lot of the meaning that when we engage. So grant us forgiveness and have mercy on us and be gracious to us, O God, our Creator, to the number of those blessings. Through your mercy, O most merciful of the merciful. And all praise be to God, the sustainer of all the worlds. Ameen Ya Rabbul Alameen. Okay, inshallah, with this prayer, I think we can stop for today. We will continue next time with the next word, the 21st word, which is on the prayers of the believers. All right, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma alamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati suratul Fatiha.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, everyone. Assalamu alaikum as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Alaykum salam. Assalamu